All right, guys. Dreadnought's back today with a new review, and we're going to be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Spider-Man series Edge of Spider-Verse Spider-Gwen. Looking pretty cool here in the packaging. Same thing we've seen with the Ben Reilly Spider-Man with the new box design. Has Gwen here with a couple of accessories. The Build-A-Figure Absorbing Man logo up top, and you can see the Build-A-Figure piece there inside the box. Not much going on the side, just some nice artwork of Gwen there. And then on this side, we've got the Ben Reilly Spider-Man. There's a look at the back of the box with that nice artwork and the bio that we read in our last review. And here's the other figures from the Wave and the Absorbing Man there. So let's crack this bad girl open and get a look at it. And here's our Spider-Gwen out of the package and looking pretty cool overall. As you can see, Hasbro reused the previous mold from the Jubilee Build-A-Figure or the previous Spider-Girls. And I think it was a fair choice for Hasbro to use the tween mold again here for Spider-Gwen. And I think they got the likeness of the character down pretty well. So let's take a closer look. Taking a closer look at Gwen here. Overall, she came out pretty nice. You know, not a huge amount of paint on this figure. You know, most of it's just black and white. But what was on here came out pretty clean. Looking at the head sculpt, let me slide that back. You can see just nice and white. It does have those white sculpted eyes on there. And it does have nice clean white paint on those with the red lining around it. And those came out very clean. And then that pink shading around it. You see a little bit of overspray down here by the chin. And then back behind this eye over here. And it's got this white hood on it, which comes out pretty nice. It's a really, really soft, bendable plastic. And the bad thing is the paint chips really easily. You can see it's chipped there and there. So I don't expect the paint to last long on this, especially not when you're head swapping. And we'll take a look at that other head. But you kind of have to pull on this to get the head off with it. And that kind of, you know, makes it crack and break even more. So that kind of sucks. But just looking at the hood down inside it, all the lines and everything came out really, really clean. So I can get a little light down there, yeah. And you can see that just looks really nice. They did an excellent job with that color, you know, that greenish blue and that pinkish red all came out very nice. Very clean on the line work. And then it comes with the alternate Gwen Stacy head. And, you know, I definitely wanted a Gwen Stacy head, so I'm glad to have it. And the hair looks perfect. I mean, classic Gwen Stacy look to it. I love the shade of yellow they used. No real shadowing in here, but the way it's textured, it almost gives the look of shadowing. Nice, clean black headband on top. But the face, the plastic came out a little bit too shiny for my taste. And then the expression on the face, I'm not a huge fan of either. It's not bad, but it's just not great. You know, it's just, you know, she looks very uninterested. But the eyes came out clean. Nice little red on the lips, the eyebrows, and a little bluish black around the pupils. All looks pretty nice. And then it came with the other piece of the hood, which gives the appearance of the hood being down. And you just slide that on like so. And that piece came out pretty clean as well. It's made out of the same really soft bendable plastic. So I can expect a little paint chipping on there. But at least you don't have to use it to push the head on. So that's good. And then looking down through the body, like I said, not much going on. If we pull our arms out like this, you can see some very nice red and green down through there. You know, that line work. Could have used some paint in these joints. You know, I think that probably would have looked a lot better, you know, up underneath the arms. But yeah, you know, we've seen this sculpt before. There's not much to it, you know, in this tween mold. There's just no real definition, so there's not a lot of sculpting really to look at. Down through the abdomen, it's just really minor. You know, it looks okay, though. It looks good. The white and the black came out very clean here. The red under her arms came out pretty clean. That one looks good as well. And then looking down through the rest of the figure, you can see these lines don't quite line up. Well, actually, this one's missing. So, yeah, that's a bummer. It's missing the white on this side. It's there, and you can line the leg up, but it's completely missing from this side. So, I'm not sure what Hasbro did there. It may be a one-off just on my figure, but, yeah, that kind of really sucks that it's missing one of the paint apps there on that side. And I don't think it's missing in the comic. I seem to remember it always being there, but I definitely have to go back and look. But yeah, I mean, sculpting, just not much to it. Nice booty on her. You know, that looks good. Just all solid black down through the legs. Does have that same green down on the feet. It's a little bit messy in a few spots, but for the most part, it's very clean. and then it's on the bottom, and it's got those peg holes down there. So yeah, overall looks pretty nice. Just not a lot to look at. Taking a look at articulation, I did leave this other piece on so we could get full articulation of the head. Moves up a great amount like so. Buries all the way in the chest like so. It has a little bit of pivot, not much, but does rotate all the way around. And then we'll take this head off and compare it to the Gwen Stacy head and pop that on. And she can also bury all the way in the chest. Looks a little bit weird on her, but it does do it. Limited by the hair back here when moving it back, so you can't really get her to move it back. Has actually a lot more pivot than the other head, and then it rotates around all the way as well. Looking at the arms, move out really far, go all the way up like so, rotate all the way around. No upper bicep swivel, which kind of sucks for a Spidey figure. Single jointed elbows also is kind of a bummer, but they do rotate. And then the wrist has the hinge, moves down like so, up like so, and they do swivel around. Looking at ab crunch, doesn't really have a whole lot. It's got that upper abdomen joint there, and she will shift, and you can pop her back and forward like so, so she gets a little bit of range of movement. And then it also pivots to the side like so. And then, of course, it rotates around, so no waist rotation down here. The legs, these are those funky joints that we've seen on this mold before. So, like, if you kick them out too far, they tend to pop out real easily on here. So I'm not going to try and do that. That's about maximum you're going to get the legs out without popping them off. And that's about as far forward. And really don't move back because of her nice booty back there. It does have that upper leg rotation. Has double jointed knees like so. It's really nice. Has that cut at the calf. Moves around pretty well. It does have a hinge on the foot, and they're really tight moving upwards for some reason on this figure. But you can get them up, and you can get them down like so. And then it has that nice ankle rocker as well. So, yeah, decent articulation. Could have used a few other areas, but overall it's pretty nice. And here's our Spider-Gwen compared to several other Spidey figures that share many of the same parts. And she's measuring in at right about 5 3/4. And here she is compared to our big-time Spider-Man over here on the right and our superior Spider-Man over here on the left. And you can see he's a little bit short, but I think she scales pretty well with both these guys. Lastly, here she is compared to our Rescue over here on the left, Pepper Potts, and our Miss Marvel over here on the right. And wrapping up here, overall, I got to say Spider-Gwen wasn't at the top of my list and wasn't a must-have for me, but I know it has been for many collectors, and I'm glad Hasbro was able to deliver for you guys. Personally, as a classic comic collector, I would have rather had just a regular Gwen Stacy figure. But with that said, I think Hasbro delivered. I think their choice of reusing the tween mold is perfect for this figure. You know, there is some limited articulation in that mold, and we've seen that before, but overall, it's pretty fair. The paint came out very clean on it. My one nitpick is the fact that it is missing this paint app over here on what would be her left side, right of the screen. And hopefully that's a one-off just on this figure. If it's a mass production problem, then that's a real issue for Hasbro, and hopefully they'll correct that. Other than that, no real issues with the figure. If I want to get real nitpicky, I would say this soft plastic hood could present some problems down the road with some cracking. And we'll just kind of have to see on that. And then the facial expression on Gwen, I would have preferred it to be a little bit better and not quite as shiny. So, with all that said, overall, I do rate the figure a buy. These are just now hitting a Big Bad Toy Store and should be in retail very soon. So hopefully you guys will be able to find it at a great price. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the review. If so, please give me a big thumbs up. Please subscribe if you hadn't already. Plenty more stuff coming down the road. Facebook, Twitter, Toy Art, links in the description below as always. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.